Hello everyone, my name is Cetus and welcome to Crusader Kings 3 where we're about to start a new run. Since I last made videos on this, I've dabbled with it in my own time and I've come to the conclusion that I think I have the most fun with this when I'm forced to engage with a lot of the inter-character stuff, which makes sense. That's a lot of what this game is about. But to do that, I like starting as lowly people in bigger empires. I think my favorite run on my own time has been in these Greek islands as the Byzantine Empire, as a lowly count, working my way up. So I almost thought of doing something down here, because I have not played with some of these religions quite as much. But then I thought, you know what? My video series in EU4 has been going really well for a long time, and for that we were up here with the Saxon culture. So I thought maybe we would do something up here. And so I did a look at looking around. I want to be a count, but I don't want to be too weak of a count. And I thought this guy here would be an excellent start. He has a little bit of land, so he's not super weak. He's surrounded by not too many other, a few other counts that we can pick on, which will be helpful. Has a duke above him who has a lovely piece of land. There's some kingdoms to take. There's an empire to take. Wrong way. There's an empire title to take. You know, lots we can do with them. So I think this is how we're gonna go, and then we're going to. I'm gonna turn Iron Man mode on just to, I don't know, just because I always seem to do that, and leave everything else on default. And let's dive in. Yeah, you can be named whatever you want to for the save. The one problem with this guy is I can't actually pronounce the family name. I'll probably try and look that up at some point, but I don't imagine I will be saying it that often. I just like our flag. I actually didn't mention that, but that's kind of one of the reasons I went with this guy is I like his flag. So that should keep things interesting. So, to start out with, we have no lifestyle. So, building your characters and kind of pseudo role-playing your characters to whatever level you're comfortable with is a component of this game. And so you actually have basically experience points and perk points you can put into. There's a little RPG mechanic. Now, our leader, and actually let's go back for a moment. So every character, yours and all the others, have a bunch of stats. Diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, learning, and prowess. Prowess is basically your ability to fight and defend yourself physically. And the others, I think you can pretty much guess what a lot of them do, right? Diplomacy is interactions with others. Martial is leading of troops in things to do with military matters. Stewardship is money. Intrigue is, doing things behind the shadows, and learning is kind of healing, and it's got a bunch of functions along that line. And affecting those, we have a bunch of traits. So right now, Bruno here is generous, bonus to diplomacy, damage to monthly income because he likes to give away his money too much. Brave, bonus to martial, prowess, attraction, people are more attracted to him, vassal opinion, but his chance of dying in a fight much higher, plus 100%. Also, I think cowards hate him. Yeah, craven characters hate him. We're also lustful. Gives us a bonus to intrigue and fertility, and seduction. But chase characters don't like him, and this is a sin to the Catholic Church, which we are Catholic, and our empire is Catholic. So we lose some piety because of that, and people who are Catholic like you a little bit less. And then in some ways the most important, not really the most important, but affecting a lot of how your skills generate is your education trait. So we were educated well enough to be a skilled tactician. Not an expert, not bad, just skilled. Very, very middling of the road. This affects how you get points in the sense of if we come back to lifestyle, we have a lifestyle that matches each skill, and our education perk gives us a bonus. So we have an encouragement to go the martial route because we gain 30% more experience when working down this lifestyle. So this is the one we're going to do. And it looks like this character already has some points into being gallant, which is fair enough. So we can choose 3 focuses that all give you the same monthly experience bonus, and then various other skills. So we can focus on strategy, just pure +3 to martial. Authoritative focus, only +1 to martial, but we gain some dread and control. Dread is everyone's fear of you, and if they're afraid of you, they will be less likely to complain about things that you do that they don't like. Control is how much direct control over your counties and provinces you have, etc. And chivalry focus, better at fighting, more attractive, and you get more knights. You can have more commanders, which we'll kind of get into later. We're going to go with chivalry, since that's clearly what the AI or the game set this guy up to be like. And that will be fine. I'm sure there's some min-maxing on these. I tend not to stress too much about these because it just kind of guides how I will play the character, but it doesn't. They're all pretty useful, actually. I don't know that I think there's a bad one per se. Apparently we are not married. So right off the bat, do we have an heir? We have no children. So we're 27, we have no children to inherit. So right now, it would go to our brother. Our land will go to our brother on our death, which isn't ideal. So we need to find a new wife right off the bat here. So there's a couple of ways there's a couple of things you can choose, basically, I guess, a spouse by. You can choose, I guess there's a lot of things, but I generally think of 2 things. Either the alliance it will give me, because that's a huge bonus, or I look to inheritable traits, so genetic traits, because those are very helpful. Inheritable traits is things like you can inherit intelligence, +3 to every skill. Fantastic trait to have. Now, you're not guaranteed to inherit this trait or your areas, but there's a chance, and there's ways we can increase that, which we'll get into later. If both you and your spouse have the same inheritable trait, not only is there a better chance that your kid will inherit said trait, there is a chance you'll inherit the better version of the trait. So there's intelligent, what else do we got? There's intelligent, quick is the lesser version of it, just a +1, and then somewhere, I don't know if anyone has it, that we can marry off to, but there is a genius version of the trait. There's also negative ones that can become inheritable, like club-footed. And then there's other ones, a beautiful line of these traits, a fertile line of these traits, a tough version of these traits, etc., etc. And the last thing I think some people would look to, and I often don't think of or don't stress out too much, is claims. Right? Some people already have claims on territory, and you can use that to get stuff. And I'm actually going to hold on marriaging for a second. I want to take a little look at what our land is like. So we have a decent chunk of land, actually. It was a little better than I expected. I mean, I was looking at it on the map, so I guess I just didn't think about it that hard. I got distracted by our lovely family flag and didn't think about much more. So, what else do we want to look at right off the bat? We currently hold 7 domains, or 7 holdings, and we can only control 5. That's what our skill level has, so we'll want to give some of that away. And what that is if we come in here, this is one holding, this little section. Here's another one, right? And those build into counties and then duchies, which we do not own a duchy title, which actually it looks like we could. Oh, we need 1 more to be able to build this. Make that duchy county, which would be fun. So yeah, you can't have direct control of it. The challenge for us is our top title is well, it's a county, right? So we can't really command other people. We could, but our kids would lose control of that. And also, unfortunately, at the beginning, in the era we are, because we started at the earliest era in this game, our succession laws are kind of awful for growing powerful. The Confederate Partition, which basically summarizes to our land is equally divided amongst all our kids. And so without a primary title to hang on to that everyone stays under, everything will get split up. So as many kids as I have, our land will be split up like that amongst all of them, and we'll lose a bunch of this territory. So our first goal before we die is to get a duchy title. So our primary heir gets the duchy title, which we will control. And then everyone else will gain counties that will get split up between them all. But since we hold the duchy title, we'll keep control of everyone. Not direct control, but indirect control through them. So I've kind of been all over the place. Why was I looking? Oh, I wanted to know where I want to expand. That's what I was trying to figure out. So I want the rest of this duchy. And the reason I want to know where I want to expand is that might affect who I want to ally to through marriage if I go that route. So we own all of this. We need one more to get this duchy title. So we need this. Whoever this guy is, we need it. Unfortunately, it's in a foreign nation. And I don't know, I don't remember. It's been a little bit since I last played. Oh, we can holy war? He's not our religion. That's cute. Yeah. So here's the challenge we have. Oh, he doesn't have very many troops, so we might dive right into this as soon as we can. He only has 558 troops right now. I don't know if we can get this in time. But because it's a foreign country, we can't go after the county. Oh, there's just the High Chieftain. I think you get dragged into the ruler gets dragged in to help in the war is what I'm basically trying to get at. But the person who owns that land is just that. So right off the bat, we're going to go to our council. These are the people who help us run the country with their various skill levels. And we want to find our bishop who can help us improve religious relations, which is what he does by default. Or in this case, we're going to have him make a claim on the last one of our duchy, which we want. It'll take him 2 years to get that claim. Now, either we can do it with 80 piety, because they're a different religion, we can declare a holy war, or we can get this claim. We are currently losing piety because we're lustful, which isn't really looked well upon by the church. So we may or may not get to 80. We'll see how that goes. As for our other people, our chancellor can improve foreign opinions of us, improve domestic opinions, so everyone within our council, or integrate titles, which is something we'll touch on later. Basically, if you own land outside of a kingdom for long enough, you can kind of integrate it into your kingdom and shift what the kingdom controls. But it takes a long time. A steward can collect taxes, increase development, so basically make a place better, or promote culture, which we're all... Are we not all the same culture? I'll look at that in a second. Marshal, organize levies, gives us more troops. Train commanders, basically make a man's bombs better, which we'll talk about later. Or increase control, but we have full control everywhere. Now, Spy Master, who can disrupt schemes, so stop people doing bad things to us, support us doing bad things to others, or find people's hidden secrets. So that's a quick run through of that. We'll learn more kind of as we play. So since we want to go into the foreign land over here, I wouldn't mind an alliance with someone. So how do we want to sort this out? We got amazing search filters to help us out. But where's this duchy? Way down there. See, that's also something you gotta think about. Like, I'm sure we could marry into this duchy and have a powerful alliance, but that doesn't... It's halfway across the world from us. That doesn't help us that much. You know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I want to start getting some inheritable traits that are really good into our bloodline. I think we'll marry this girl. She's a low burn, which, you know, is maybe not ideal because it doesn't come with any fame or anything like that. I in fact think we'll lose fame. Ooh, this lady is both intelligent and has hail, which is the tough one. Increased prowess in health and attraction. So we'll marry her. We're going to lose a bunch of prestige for this, which isn't ideal, but I think those traits are worth it. Might make it a little bit harder for us to take that land, because I know it costs prestige to take it. I don't remember how much. It might be only 200, but we'll find out. I'm doing this. Those two traits are very powerful if we can get them into our bloodline. Okay, and let's do this. Let's break this up. I'm pretty sure we can control these until we die, and we would lose control of the ones we give away once we are not alive, once our kid has it. So there's different types of holdings. The only ones we can control are castles. So the game's already gotten rid of all the others. Which castles do we want to get rid of? So I think our duchy is going to become this one. So we don't want to get rid of, hang on, let's check. Basically, you want to control as many of the land in your personal duchy as you can. So yeah, the Duchy of Anhalt is the one that's eventually going to be our first duchy title that we're going to want to hang on to. So we'll want to keep any land within this one. So if we scroll down, which is actually mildly awkward because we have this one, which is outside of our duchy. Who do we want to give it to? See, ideally, you want to give it to like the best person possible, who is also loyal, and there's lots of traits that can affect that. You don't want to give it to an ambitious person. We actually don't have that many people we can choose from. This guy's already a powerful vassal, so we probably won't give it to him. Actually, do we have anyone who has no land, so we're not making someone more powerful? I'm pretty sure we can filter by that. It's amazing how much I've forgotten. Oh, there it was. Ruler. Unlanded. Nope. Everyone has land. Interesting. Okay, let's give it to... This guy has a marshal, has some degree of loyalty, and he's a brilliant strategy, and he's trusting. Okay, he'll be good. We'll grant that to you. We'll become vassal of... Oh, yeah. Thank you for the warning, game. This is what I was saying that I was worried about. We can't control them because we don't hold the duchy title. So we can't give away any of our holdings, which is unfortunate because it gives us a penalty on our income, and it gives us a penalty to how much our vassals like us. So there's nothing that can be done about it till we gain a duchy title. So that is our dedicated goal now. We can declare war on 3 people. Apparently we have a claim on that, which we could take, which is interesting. It's almost tempting because he has no... Can I declare war right away? Oh, this game does allow it. I was going to say it's tempting because we have a much better army, and we could just grab it before he has any friends. But what I really want is this land, which I don't have the piety to do. Much better army. Let's look at our troops for a moment. Military. So we have 630 levies. Levies are your farmers that you drag into the war. That was very common in this era. They're not very good. They're not armored or armed well. And they're mostly just, as horrible as it sounds, to some degree, they're just meat shields. But at this point in the game, they're what we mainly have. And then you have your knights, which we have 4 of, who are skilled, armored, paid well, really good troops. But you don't have many of them. We, in fact, can only have a total of 5, though we only have 4 right now. And then we can create men of arms. These are permanent, trained troops that are armored and equipped, that you constantly pay for, and give you some actual power behind what you're doing. But they're expensive, and we have no money, so they're not a thing either for us. You can hire mercenaries as well, which require money. And then there's holy orders, which we can found, and then they can fight for us if we're against a not Catholic nation. They also require money to establish those, so that's not going to happen for a little bit. Why are we missing a note? Can we recruit you? It would cost 10 gold to recruit you and get another knight. I do think that's worth it, because knights are our main source of power right now. How good would you be? You'd be a 5. A lot. Look at how bad our knights are. 0 prowess. Like come on. Let's recruit this guy. I don't know if it's the best use of our 10 gold, but you know, I want our full force of knight. That will be fine. And then let's... Do I want to grab that? Few knights. Yeah, no, I fixed the knights thing. Oh, you know what we should do? Oh, no one's accepted our marriage because I haven't unpaused yet. Good lord. I've been talking that long without unpausing. Okay, let's unpause. Yeah, gladly accepted. So now we're married, which is lovely. And what we're gonna do, because we are, without my marriage, the Countess, the realm expects us to throw a substantial, extravagant wedding. So we can collect money, basically, from our wedding. Or we can let our subjects enjoy the festivals without royal care, so we don't ask for money. And gain a bunch of prestige. At this point in the game, I think we're going to go with money. Money is helpful and we don't make tons. Actually, plus 3.4 is not that bad. But our guy is, you know, he's lustful, but he's quite honorable, right? He's chivalrous and he's generous. So I think what we're going to do is see if we can make this lady, we're going to romance her and try and become soulmates. Only 65% chance. It's not fantastic, but we're going to do this. It will improve our chance to get an heir, too. The time has come to let my feelings towards Countess Gina be known. I want her to remember this day for the rest of her life. The problem with playing this nation is the names are going to be close enough to names I should be able to pronounce. It's going to be super obvious how inept I am at pronouncing people's names. Secretly plant a letter in her chamber. They all give you the same bonus. It's just kind of like of the flavor of how you want to do it. Write a love poem. Impress her by winning a sparring match. Go with my gut in the moment. We're very martial, not very learned, so I don't think we'd do a poem. Probably not do a letter. We could definitely, you know what, sparring match. We wouldn't know better. We would think that's the way to go. Declaration of love. I recruit one of my most senior soldiers and practice with him for 3 days straight. Once he deems me ready, we head together to the main courtyard. As we begin to spar, a crowd gathers, and their cheers soon draw none other than the winsome Countess Gina. The soldier fights valiantly, but I disarm him with a final, flawless thrust. I kneel before Gina and declare my noble intentions. I dedicate this victory to you, Countess. Bringing your honor is my only desire. Or bringing you honor. My beauty is speechless, but clearly flattered. Why else would she be smiling thusly? Gina won't resist my charms for long. This could be bemusement. Actually, you know, loving the moment. There's a lot of ways you could interpret that, but we'll assume it's the good one. We will, you know, it's probably fine. 96, I wonder. So there's some decisions we can do inviting knights. This is where founding the orders are and a lot of stuff like that. Ooh, we can restore the Holy Roman Empire. I didn't know that was an option. That would be cool. I was wondering if we could go on a pilgrimage to gain piety so we could do this attack, is what I was thinking, but... rest for the weary. Sweaty, tired, and in the need of food, a long day of training with the troops is coming to an end. As we search for a place to camp, we spot an old abandoned castle in the distance. Biting my lip, I declare, this is where we will make our camp tonight. The sun is setting, and with every step towards the ruin, it looks more ominous. Before long, soldiers are whispering about ghosts. Let us venture inside. I am sure there is treasure to be found. Who knows what we will find inside? Let us raise the tents outside. It's time to rest. Gain an advantage. So we can increase our morale, or we could try and find treasure. Oh, I kind of want to find the treasure, but the morale would be very helpful for this initial fight I'm aiming for. So we'll do that. I know it's not the most exciting option, but don't worry, there'll be treasure to hunt aplenty in the future. Let's find out if we can afford a pilgrimage. Minimal cost of 50, which we can afford, and this will get us piety. It will also give us the Pilgrim trait, which is very useful and will counter our lustful negative, so I think this will be good. It's interesting that we're going to be traveling and trying to romance, but not think about that. It's time for me to set out on my journey to one of the holy places, but which one? To the site of Jerusalem, cost 125 gold, and is a very long pilgrim. Can't do that. Vatigo, 100 gold. Can't do that. Cologne, not so far. Short pilgrimage, cost 50. That's what we're going to do. As I prepare for my journey, I know that I will travel safely under the protection of God. Though I will not be gone for long, I pray for the well-being of the realm in my absence. Time to depart. I'll increase speed a little bit for this. Pilgrim, the Mystic. 9 is one of the strangest people I met on this journey. He seems to be a firm believer, but also expands on the true nature of God and what his all means. At night, his tent is lit up by the candles within, and occasionally strange chanting and unusual incense flows from it. I am wholly unprepared when Neza bids me to enter. I am quite curious. You enter the tent. No thank you. This all smells of heresy to me. Yeah, well, we want the piety, and frankly, we're devout religious, despite being lustful. Maybe we're not devout. Okay, we'll go with that. Our character's kind of a solid in the middle. Maybe we're like not the most devout, but we are Catholic. That would be, I guess, the answer of how we are. I am finally here, body and soul, in the great church of Cologne. I should have looked where that is. I don't actually know. As the bishop offers me blessings, I reflect on everything that has happened for God to bring me here at this moment. I have walked the holy path. So we gain another 250 piety. Because of our faith as the armed pilgrim's tenet, we have the determined pilgrim. So monthly piety per night, plus 2%. So that's going to help us out quite a lot too. And then we come back home. So now we have tons of piety. Oh, romance. Unpleasant pleasantries. I am attending a dance in Defern to spend some time with the Countess. The mere thought of touching hands makes my heart jump. But when I arrive, I find her stuck in conversation with my Chancellor. The contested man drones on and on, totally oblivious to Gina's discomfort. I will take her place. Better that I suffer than her. We gain 40 stress. Wow, brutal. And you gain a chronic headache. Moderate penalty to health and plus 10% strength gain rate. Jeez. And we gain progress with kindness, plus 10% success chance. So stress is a fascinating mechanic. There's 3 levels of stress. 0 to, once we gain 300 stress, we go up to a stress level. We have a mental break. Something bad happens, which is random, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. And then if we don't get it down, something worse happens. And then you can keep going up to stress level 2 and stress level 3. I think at stress level 3, your character just dies, right? The stress just straight up kills them. Never actually gotten there, but I believe that's what happens, if I remember. Or we can go, enough, you are boring the lady to death. I spend prestige. You grow closer to forming a rivalry with the mayor. Just a mayor, so and the scheme gains kindness. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll lose 35 prestige in the mayor's fondness. Oh, we're blunt. We're like high marshal. How is our diplomacy? I guess our diplomacy isn't terrible. It's good. But I'm still imagining kind of the martial bluntness. And that's fine. And now we can declare this war. Oh, they're now way, way stronger than me. Well, isn't that disappointing? They want way stronger than me. Now they are 937. We have 937 and they have 972. Isn't a good fight. We have more champions. Oh, but they do have men of arms. Which is unfortunate. If we got some men of arms, maybe we can do this fight. Regardless, I think that's a good place to call this episode. Not too much exciting has happened. I maybe talked a little bit too much, but I wanted to give you guys a sense of what's going on. So thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.